Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's my great honor to be invited. And thank you, Chen, for your passion. Finally, I understand what does FWE means. Because I'm very touched by your passion. And thank you, OECD and Angel, for the PISA. And every time I discuss with you about education, I'm inspired. And I know there are a lot of things we should do, we can do, and we must do. And I think this time is the most critical period for the world to discuss the most important and critical topic, that is education. The world is changing so fast, and I think the thing that we need to change fast is education system. And I'm not the expert. I'm an amateur, I'm not a pro on the education. I was trained to be a high school teacher. I failed exams for entering university again. So after 3 years of hard working, I was accepted by Hangzhou Teachers College, which considered the 4th or 5th class of the university in China. But I think that's the best school I've ever heard, the bestest university in the world. And they trained me to be a high school teacher. And that time, only the worst students in China should go to the teachers. That's why the education had a big problem. But I'm happy to see the PISA result. China has a great result this year. And the world changed, as I said, in probably 20 years. 50% of the jobs that today we have will disappear. We'll create another 50 or 60% of the jobs, which we never can have imagine. Where the education should be, and where our kids that should worry about. We all worry about ourselves, but we should worry about the kids, whether they can have jobs, they can survive in the next centuries. And what are the lives that we and our people and our kids should have? These are all the things that we should discuss about. And I said to China last year only have 12 million new babies born, which somebody said 17, but I think like around between 12 million to 17 million. China, in the next 50 years, were decided by these 12 to 17 million people. And these 12 to 17 million people, what kind of education system we give them, how we can improve them, that also influences the world. And I was trained as an English teacher. At that time, China just started to have English courses. We don't have enough teachers, English teachers, to teach English. So my teacher, she was teaching math. So in the morning, she went to learn ABC, and in the afternoon, she came to teach us. The thing she inspired me, she said, "Jack, your pronunciation is better than mine." Most of the courses that I'm good at, because the teacher's good. The teacher encouraged me to go ahead. And some of the courses, I had a terrible study result on chemistry because my chemistry teacher does not like me. Those teachers don't like me, I don't work. If the teacher likes me, I work hard. And I find most of the students doing things like that. And from result of the test, I was not considered to be a good teacher. A good student, I always fail exams. The teacher said, this is, they write on the blackboard and say, this is what I taught. And when we take the exams, I have to answer exactly the same. But I think that is not true. So I always criticized, put at the bottom. But 20 years passed, those great students, my classmates in the primary school, middle school, universities, they still stay there, and we're running fast. I never stopped studying. I think society is the best universities, and I enjoy that. A lot of people learn to work, and in the future we should work to learn. We should continue to learn all the times. And I never got a one-day training to be how to be a CEO. My venture capitalist early days said, "Jack, you should give your CEO job to the others because you don't know how to be a CEO." And I said, "No, I don't know how to be a CEO." But later I found I could be a good CEO because that's the skills that I learned from being a teacher. I call myself CEO, Chief Education Officer. I learned everything I learned from being a teacher. Inspire your students. Trust your students. Believe in your students. Enable your students. All the teachers want their students to be excellent. All the teachers want the students to be good. You know, this guy become a banker, that's a mayor, that is an engineer, that's a scientist. No teacher wants his students to be in prison, bankrupted, or in trouble. When you have a good heart, you like the students, students can feel it. This is the way I do as a CEO in my company. I trust my people. We enable them. We do anything we can to make people like a people, not people like a worker. So today, a lot of people fighting for or work hard for education. And we try to solve the problem of putting everybody has the chance to get education. That means we need, to me, I think education is just like a food. You need to feed the people. So we should have food for everybody, for every kids. This is very important. Every childhood, every children in this world should have the equal education opportunities. But the other thing, which is more important, what education we should give our kids, what food we should give. We know if you give terrible food, the kids will have diarrhea, have stomach problems. And there are two things today in the whole world are very, very important. The first is everybody has a chance. Second, everybody should have a right education content. So what I believe that at the industrial period, everything we want to make standardization. But the AI period, we want a differentiation, make everybody different. Right? IT is to enable yourself. DT, the data technology, is to enable the others. The real fairness of education is differentiate. Make everybody, every kid have the right education that he needs. Make everybody be the best of himself. And I always think a school should be like a zoo. It's all kinds of animals. This is what I did in my company. I hate to turn my company become a farm, group of chickens or ducks. I want all kinds of animals. They're versatile. So, you know, you can never judge, because we have a KPI. We should not give a KPI for a chicken, how many eggs a chicken will have, and put that KPI on a lion or a tiger. Lion, tiger, stupid. So we have to making sure the schools like a zoo and our company like a zoo. In the industrial period, we make the assembly line that make every people like a product should be same. Whether you're good, you're smart, you're stupid, this is the way that you do. You use the food you eat. And education become that kinds of assembly line. It's a disaster. Animal has the instinct. Machine have the intelligence. But human being have the wisdoms. In the digital period, we have to think very clearly, what is the difference between human and machines? If we worry about machine will replace people, because people and machine are too similar. If we worry about machines, that's the problem, not machine, the problem of human beings. So if you do everything on a standardization, it can be replaced. Unfortunately, I'm on the internet business. We know that if everything is standardized, if everything is logic, you will be a problem. We designed our own technology 15 years ago. At that time, we do not call it AI. We call AI Alibaba intelligence. We do not call it artificial intelligence. We find everything, if there's a logic. If there's a logic, machine can do better. If there's no logic, people can do better. See, sometimes we don't know why this boy loves that girl. There's no reason he loves her, or there's no reason she loves him. But they're loved. But when you hate somebody, there's a logic. When we do some bad things, there's a logic. If there's a logic, machine can do better. And what we did in our company is that we teach machine to arrest, to catch, to find all the bad behavior of people, arrest the bad guys. Because we have so much money transaction every day. People try to steal money. When you have a plan, when you have a logic, machine can do better. So, I think in the digital period, if you focus too much on standardizations, you will be replaced by machines. Human beings have to do the things that should be creative, constructive feelings, that machine can never be replaced. If a machine will never embrace the change, human being can change. Machine will never continue to learn like a human. And if we try to live like people in the past century, it's going to be disaster. So in the industry period, 100 students, we only use one methodology to teach. But in the digital period, 100 students, we might have, and we should have probably 120 ways of teaching, because we need to have the 20% extra, because 20% extra students, they may like me, never obey the rules. So we need to have 100 students, have 120 ways of teaching. In the industrial period, we make people like a machine. In the digital period, we make machine like people. Education must reform. Schools must reform. Teachers need to reform, and classroom needs to reform. In the past, we give students, the teachers give students knowledge in the class, but in the future, students and teachers may work together to learn. In the past, teachers know more than the students. In the future, students maybe know more than the teachers. In the past, one class 40 minutes, one class 40 students. And every day we have like 7 classes. This standardization, I don't know where it comes from, but it should be designed for industrial period in order to use limited resource, as few resources as possible, to train as many people as possible. So 200 years passed. The industrial period is moving to the digital period. We have to rethinking what are the education, the content, the way we teach to the people. In the past, classroom is supposed to teach students the right answers. But in the future, most of the things, we don't have answers. Teachers may not know, experts may not know, nobody knows. We have to learn and work on together. In the past, classroom in the class. In the future, classroom in the real world. I was in Israel last year, discussed with the minister of Israel. Why in Israel, a lot of kids, a lot of young people are so independent? He told me, there are a lot of kids. They have to go to the remote areas, mountain areas, to learn how to survive. The kids always have to face dangers. Education is not to prevent our kids from not having dangerous things. No problems. But education is to train our kids to face the dangers, face the ways when problem comes. People say China have no rules. I think there's China rules. If there's something, there is a net in the middle, we always do good. If there's no net in the middle, we're all in trouble. Basketball, football, we're all in trouble. If there's a ping pong, we're good. Singulars, we're all good. We have one child of family. One child of family. Every child is the king of the families. We learn to teamwork. If the kids do not learn to teamwork, how can China teamwork with the other world, with other countries? So this is all about education. The world has changed. You can never imagine that in the classroom, you lock the students. They learn the skills to face the future challenges. It's impossible. The future education is about to teach our kids to survive in the outside world, to solve the problems when you confront the conflicts. It's impossible that you don't have any conflicts. But you have to face the conflicts and solve the conflicts in the confrontations. So this is a lot of challenges that we have for education that need not education experts, need amateurs like us, need people from every field, everywhere to working together. And I don't like a lot of G2, G20, G whatever meetings. They always put questions. There's no directions. We need directions. We need leaderships. We need to know where is the future, how we can do it together. So this is the most, we are not coming here to complain. We come here to looking for solutions. So as amateur, the beginner of education, I feel guilty. Myself, I only teach in the school for 6 years. And now I think I have the resources I retired from chairman of Alibaba position. I put most of my time on education. And I want to learn from you, discuss with you, debate with you, fight with you. I have some amateur suggestions. In China, give one first suggestions. Let's put most of our resources from university, PhD, master degree, to primary school, kindergarten, middle schools. That is more important. It's too late when you try to change a university student's value. Lots of the functions of the human beings, you have to train them when they are still in kindergartens, in the primary schools. I found, especially most of the developing countries, they always want to compete. You know, one of my university in this country is a ranking number, what of numbers in the world. We should have a ranking, what kind of kindergartens, primary schools, middle schools are there. So please put more resources on the front instead of the back. And the second, it's also very important, we should fight for the teachers. And I absolutely agree with the report OECD, the expert talking about if we respect teachers, we respect knowledge, we respect education, we respect the future. Education is about the future. So we should give teachers the best recognitions. We should give the teachers the best pay. Because if we respect them, and they will respect their jobs, they respect their kids. And I think everybody's talking about education is important. When we talk about budget, it's another thing. Right? I think, and the other thing, teachers are important. I think my foundation has been working on the China rural area educations. There are about more than 30 million kids study in the rural areas in China. There are about close to 3 million rural area teachers, about 5 or 6 years ago. Today we have like a 2.7 million rural area teachers. We find to helping kids in the rural areas, the best way is helping teachers. A good teacher can help 200 students in his life at least. If you cannot inspire the teachers, how can they inspire the kids? So we do a lot of work. Finally, we find a lot of teachers give up teaching in the rural areas. You know what? Because they don't, 60% of them give up jobs because they don't like headmasters. They hate their headmasters because none of the headmasters got a one-day training how to be a headmaster. And this is the problem I found in many, many areas. These teachers have been there for teaching for 10 years and become a headmaster. They don't know what is accounting, what is leadership, what is... Headmaster is supposed to be the minister of the village, of their local towns. So we realize that we should focus on headmaster. A headmaster can influence 100 teachers. A teacher can influence 200 students. That is the system. And what a minister of education is supposed to do, he should make policies to enable headmasters to do better job. Headmasters should do better jobs to enable teachers to do better job. Teachers, and then they should spend in time to inspire the kids. And we should, with the technology revolution, we should inspire and encourage more excellent. Those people who have knowledge does not mean he know how to teach, right? Michael Tyson's boxing training, if they have competition, I don't think he has a chance to win Michael Tyson. It's the people who inspire, the people who know how to teach. So we should focus on that. And the third is that we need that quickly change the KPI of education, not test results. We have to change the formulas. If we think examination is the only way, the standard for the education, if that is the KPI, I don't think education will go to the right direction. So I ask a lot of high school students in China, what's your hobby? What do you want to do in the future? I said, I don't know. He said, I don't know. I just want to go to university. Why do you want to go to university? I don't know. I just want to go to university. That is the problem. Many senior high school students, they don't know what they want to do. They just want to go to university. Because they think university is the guarantee of jobs. From my 20 years experience in Alibaba, we find most of the universities when they graduate, we have to train them absolutely, totally different. University does not mean you will guarantee the jobs. We don't hire people from Harvard, MIT because they're Harvard, they're MIT. They have the way to learn. We hire those people because they're ready to learn. They want to change. They want to create. They want to learn all their lives. We hire them. Not because, for me, those people got a master's degree or doctorate degree. It's just the receipt of the tuition his father paid. The real master degree is when you finish, you get the degree and start to fighting for your life. You prove when you're 70 years old or 80 years old. I don't care whether you're a PhD. We got a lot of PhD. We have more PhD today than we can imagine. Does the world change a lot? No, not necessarily. We need people really think. Life school, the school of the society, the school of the world is a real education. And the training is that make people learning all their life, make people have confidence for the future. The next thing is we need to teach our kids with 3 Qs. The education is not to make kids love learning. And we have to teach our kids learn to love. People pay extreme attention to IQ, to EQ. If you want to be successful, you should have very high EQ. Easy to get around people with you, people support you. But if you don't want to lose quickly, you should have good IQ. Smart people, they know how to play. But if you want to be respected, you should have the LQ, the Q of love. The Q of love is from your heart, not from brain. The brain will be replaced by machines. Machine can never replace your heart. Machine can only have chips. Human have the heart, and the heart is where the love, where the wisdom comes from. So, and also we think that all the kids in the future should have a global view, global vision, and full picture vision, and future vision. The global vision, I think when we were kids in China, I hope if I do in my school now, we are building up a primary school, a middle school in Hangzhou for my testing. For 2 years, I'm very happy about the result. But one thing I want to do in the primary school, I want every kids in the primary school have at least 1,000 Oriental stories, 1,000 Western stories. For our kids, they should never separate the West and the East. To them, you should never start to train them when they are senior school or university. They say, oh, this is Western history, this is Chinese history, this is Western religion, this is Chinese religion, this is Chinese history. That's very complicated. Kids should learn the global vision, respect the world, respect the other race, respect the other culture, respect the other religion. When every students, in every country, every school, they should learn from that. Instead of when they grow old, they have a conference. The conference world today, results of the education system. The things we teach our kids. They feel proud for my race. They never respect the others. They're proud for their religion. And they never respect. I was in one country, people challenging me. Jack, Israel, your Chinese Buddhism, crazy, this. I said, sir, have you ever read one book about Buddhism? Or one book about Taoism? One sentence or one article about Confucius? I said, no. I said, I read 7 times of Bibles. And I respect. I know where you're from. But you don't know us. How can you don't know somebody and criticize? If you want to criticize, better start to learn. And then we should have a vision of full picture. Nobody can learn a full vision picture if you do your individual. You have to be a teamwork. Teamwork sports is very important. Otherwise, I don't think China have hope for the suckers. And last vision, the other vision we have is a future vision. We have to solve problem for future. Today, the world focuses too much on solving today's problem or yesterday's problem. Let's think about the future. There is only future. And how can you solve the future problem? The future problem is human being, machine are very alike. I'm happy to see China is good at the math, reading, these skills, very important. But the other important thing is, how can our kids to be more creative, constructive, and productive, innovative? That is, teach arts. I think dancing is important, singing is important, painting is important, sports is important. My school, I don't force people to learn afterward, but we force people to learn arts, sports after their schools. So every child, when they come to the world, they're just building up their own business, like an entrepreneur. It's a startup. A startup, you learn to work with the others. You learn to solve problems. You learn to get support and get help. And I think in the future, what kind of people we want to be, how we want to be, what kind of life we need, that's decided by education. What education today we're doing is design the future of human beings. And what people today design the education of tomorrow. So my first job is a teacher. And I hope my last job is working together with you. I'm doing something on the education. I'm an editor, but I want to learn. I want to learn from you. I want to debate with you and work with you. Let's find a solution for the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jack, for that electrifying, inspirational start to the next phase of the day. And you've ended on that thought about the future. I know that you only have a few moments left, but you very kindly agreed to take a few questions from our young global leaders, who I think are with us at the back. Who will go first?
Hi, Mr. Jack Ma. My name is Xiaodi Jiang, and I'm from China and graduate from Cornell University. And I'm currently co-founder of two NGO-like organizations, Chinese Overseas Students Conference and Providence Academy. So basically, we provide networks and opportunities for Chinese overseas students leaders to learn and join in the trend and frontier of Chinese development and encourage them to come back and make contribution to their motherland after they graduate. So today, my question is that for our generation, we have more and more opportunities to accomplish our fundamental education at motherland, like in China, and then pursue higher education and academic achievements overseas in other countries. Based on our estimation, there are more than 1 million Chinese overseas students for each year. So what do you think is a core competence for this group of multi-background overseas Chinese students? And what's the potential challenge for them? And how can we possibly link them to the rural educational career you devoted for? And do you have any words of wish and wisdom for them? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, first, congratulations for young leaders. I'm very proud for that title. But if you want to lead people, we have to learn to be led by other people. And this is critical. As I give advice to a lot of young people, when you're 20 to 30, if you want to do something big in the future, find a good boss. It's more important than find a good company. A good boss will discipline you, will tell you the truth, will guide you, will beat you. So, congratulations. The other thing is about the 1 million students, overseas Chinese students, they study outside, want to do for the motherland. I think the first step is learn from the other culture, respect the other culture, go into the culture, create value for the countries you are living. Just like today, globalization is not about go to the other countries to get resources, to make money there, thinking about how you can do things, what are things you can do differently. You can create jobs. You can do things local people cannot do. You can inspire them. So for 1 million students, you are ambassadors of China. Only when you become the ambassadors in China, respect the other culture, add value to the local schools. Why they accept you? Not because you pay the tuition, because you are unique from the other country. You will share with the people there your knowledge, your value, your thinking. And then with all the things you know, knowledge and plus others go back. So I spent 4 years university, and 3 years I was the chairman of the students' union. And I was the chairman of the students' union of the whole city. I spent a lot of time doing these things, to helping people, to understand people, to work with people. And when I graduate, I think I have more confidence to survive in the society or learn to work with others. And when people today, a lot of people complain, nobody helped me. I think a lot of young people say, nobody helping me today. I said, why should people help you? People don't help you, this is very natural. People help you, that is not natural. You should learn to be rejected, learn to be refused. So my advice to you guys, 1 million, you are the luckiest people in the world. But you go there not to learn, not only to learn the knowledge, learn their culture, respect their culture, and then you come back, you're a full human. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think, yeah, next question, just, who's next? Just here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm Alphonse Ruhigira from Rwanda.
Good.
So first, I would like to thank Jack Ma for what he's doing for Africa and Rwanda. I'm one of your graduates from our Rwanda Entrepreneur Program. It's amazing to see what you're doing for entrepreneurs in Africa. And we are really glad for this far. Yeah, we're doing an amazing job. And I would like to thank you deeply on behalf of other entrepreneurs in Africa and Rwanda especially. Thank you very much for what you're doing for Africa.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been to Rwanda for 2 times. Very impressive, very, very hardworking, excellent country. And I think what I want to do in Africa is, Africa needs 4 E's. First is entrepreneur. Second is education. Third is e-government. Fourth is infrastructure. Last century, electricity is important. This century, internet is important. So 4 E's will fundamentally change Africa. Africa, I think young people, excellent entrepreneurs. But young people should not have the culture wait to be founded. The money, I think, can help entrepreneurs in Africa to grow, to develop the internal power of development. China developed. Main reason, one of the main reasons and factors is entrepreneurship in China. So I think Africa has a huge potential if we working together to help entrepreneurships in Africa. That would change Africa a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So one final question from the floor.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Mariam Al-Hashimi from the United Arab Emirates. I'm an economics graduate from Paris Sorbonne University, and I currently work as a Sustainable Development Goals Associate at Expo 2020 under the Minister of International Cooperation. So throughout my education system, I noticed that it can sometimes be limiting to our creativity. So how do you think the education system should be shaped to catalyze an increase in young entrepreneurs and SMEs in a way that harnesses youth's potential and, most importantly, their soft skills when entering this evolving labor market or when creating our own markets?
Yeah, I think the world is changing a lot faster because of the internet. And I think today young people should never think about their own local market, you should think globally. In the past, it's made in China, made in America. In the future, it's made in internet. Right? In the past, it's the big companies can do the exporting. In the past, is the containers go out. In the future, is small companies, small people, a mobile phone can global buy, global sell. In the future, the global trade is not designed by containers, it's designed by packages. In the past, the globalization the global trade is designed by 6,000 big companies. In the future, 6 million small companies. So you have to think globally, and you have to think about the future. An excellent thing is that I'm happy to see, you as a woman leader, and this world The difference between last century and this century is we will have more women leaders. Last century, we compete. Thank you. Last century, we win by muscle. This century, we win by wisdom. Last century, we win by care myself. This century,